regulation. MiFID II is a fact which we cannot deny. And if you do not invest in technology, you cannot survive. But these are also elements which create a lot of opportunities. Volt is a very good example because we did not intend to produce Volt. We wanted to produce or realize a fully automatic advisory process. But having that, we had a lot of elements already in place which enabled us later on to create a unique client journey. It's Volt, and Volt is now, I would say, a quite unique product because it brings private banking, it brings wealth management quality to retail customers. When we decided to move, we had to decide, do we want to do that in a traditional way or in a new way? First, we had to think about our future architecture and what this architecture should lead us to. And we just stated a bold understanding of how we would like to act in the future. And I told my people, listen, if we now move in that direction, I want to be able to launch any client journey within 6 months. And this is not seen yet in financial industry. Normally you start a project and then 2 years later you might be live. And in these 2 years, the client demand is already different. So the chance that you build a product on the digital way, which basically goes not directly to the client desires, is very big. So focusing on this 6 months, I even told them 3 to 6 months, 3 to 6 months time to market, forced us into completely rethink the kind of building up an architecture. So first what we did, we decided that we would like to lay a foundation which must be stable. We cannot invent or reinvent the bank all 6 months from new. So we invested heavily in that layer of the architecture. And aixigo plays an important role because aixigo was or is still a headless technology which allows us to build whatever we would like to build in our fashion. However, under the surface, it's a very powerful engine which combines two elements. First, it's extremely fast, which allows us to do real-time calculation. And secondly, it's modular. That's a very modern architecture. That's exactly what we were looking like. We didn't want to have a finished product. We would like to have a product which helped us to realize our vision of a new architecture.
We strongly believe in the digital transformation of the wealth management industry, and we believe that digital financial products are way superior to traditional financial offerings. So the question is, what do we need in order to build a successful digital product? And in our view, first of all, it has to be a strong, high-quality financial product. But then there's this second ingredient. It is all about emotion, about empathy. This is what a traditional financial advisor brings to the table, but now we have to find a way how to bring this into a digital product. We have developed a platform, the digital wealth management platform, which includes building blocks that can be used in order to build such digital financial products. And Vontobel used that platform in order to build the applications Volt and Mars, so different kinds of applications in order to support the financial advisor in the advisory process and to fully automate this process, what we see in regards of Volt application. And our role is first to help in the creative process, to demonstrate what ideas could actually work based on technology that we bring to the table, and later on to implement together with the engineers from Vontobel such technology so that you have actual working financial product. Well, I think there are two factors. One is that we have a similar culture, similar view on how the financial services industry should look like. As I said, I think that Vontobel is a role model here, and we really were looking for working together with an institute of that aspiration. And then secondly, I think we bring a lot on the table that Vontobel could build upon. So with our digital wealth management platform, we had everything that Vontobel could use in order to easily build these applications in a very fast and efficient way. So, for example, Christian spoke about regulation, and we have helped lots of banks with implementing advisory processes in a digital way so that the process itself guarantees the compliance with MiFID II, and that in such a way that it is quite fast and efficient. And we had a lot of knowledge about how to structure such processes, along with the technology to jumpstart in a project and to quickly implement such a solution. The second important technological factor is that our technology is quite unique in terms of power, in terms of performance. So several years ago, when the first larger German banks wanted to start the digital transformation, such bank asked us, well, could you provide a portfolio management system which is fast enough for the digital transformation? And the performance figures that they asked for seemed to be impossible. It looked like it isn't feasible to build a product, a portfolio management system that is fast enough to do so. But we looked very deep into how could we build such a system. And after visiting different industries, we saw that there's one group of programmers that achieve incredible results, and that is the video game industry and their respective programmers. And we tried to apply the way how these people work to the financial services business. And we found out that we could speed up the portfolio management system by a factor of roughly 150 times. And so we re-implemented our whole system, built the digital wealth management platform with this knowledge, and now we have a system which is tremendously faster than every competing system. And that was probably one reason why Vontobel chose us, because with this technology you can build a solution which scales to the masses.
So the change, we learned it very fast, is not done by selecting the right technology. It's also done by completely change how you do projects. So again, in the old world, you started to define whatever you would like to have, and after this definition phase, probably 6 months, then you start to build it. So you bring it to the technology people and say, now I would like to have that. 1 year later, you get the final product. The chance that they didn't understand you correctly is very high, and that will not lead you in today's world to a good product. So we completely changed that. We put everybody, including people from aixigo, into a new room. It was a combination between software engineers, business analysts, even relationship managers with real business. So they could really discuss what they were building time to time. We introduced agile methods, and it was very successful. So it cut, I would say, our time to market by factor 2 to 3. And with that, also costs are much lower. As an example, we managed together to bring a very complete end-to-end advisory process, completely compliant with MiFID and with all relevant documents you need to provide to a customers, pre-trade or post-trade, within only 6 months. That's unbelievable fast, but it's possible. You need to have the right technology, the right way to work, and the right people, of course. as a bank, if you are facing a digitalization, it's very important that the bank is not looking at their current process and makes them a little bit faster, which very often happens. Because you would have the old process just a bit faster, and that will not help you as a bank. Instead, you have really to rethink how you do business and how you run your processes. And I think this example of speed is a very good one, because we built on the technology of aixigo, a risk engine, which resolved the fundamental problem of all risk engines, because you always have a trade-off between speed and whether you cover all instruments. Normal risk engines have a very big data appetite, so therefore it's extremely costly to cover the whole universe. And if you are in a bank with the structured products, a universe might exceed 100,000 instruments. So how you resolve that problem, covering 100,000 or even more instruments and being fast in calculating the risks so that you can real-time simulate a change or a proposed change without spending too much money for data. And we achieve that. The risk engine we are currently using covers 450,000 instruments. It runs completely compliant through all tests, MiFID and all other regulations might demand. And it calculates each and any portfolio within less than 100 milliseconds. That allows us to construct a complete new client experience in Volt, but also a complete new experience for our relationship managers.
We believe that digital transformation is going to drive the overall development in the financial services industry. And we really believe that what we already see in other industries, like what Google and Facebook and all these companies are doing, is they use all the data that they have and combine the data to provide value to the client. And traditionally, the financial services industry did that using their financial advisors, but still we have now as a whole industry to learn how to adapt the ideas of these digital businesses into the financial services industry and bring emotion and empathy to the client using digital channels. And we believe that this is going to lead to something that we name wealth care. So we want to automate the process of the bank taking care of the financial well-being of a client. And obviously the financial advisor is great at doing that, but it doesn't scale. It does only, a financial advisor can do only so much. And using technology, we can scale this and we can probably transform this into a new way, because as you see, a traditional financial advisor is not available whenever you want to talk to him. This guy also has to sleep and there is other clients. But with digital technology, I can have this tight relationship between the bank and the client whenever the client wants to have it. And therefore, we strongly believe that this is a direction where a lot of new innovation is coming from.
I think we have to distinguish different levels of financial industry. On the one hand, we have retailish elements like payments, like account services and so on, which in my opinion are Eldorado for digitalization. We will now have new entrants. It just will be available for zero. It will be highly industrialized, automated, and finally there might be a few players around, because it's a pure scale game. On the other hand, you have wealth management, which is our industry we're in, which is a an extremely emotional industry, because health and wealth are probably the most emotional elements for a human being. And it's a quite different question how you digitalize such an emotional element. And in my opinion, human beings will always play an important role. They might do different things. Today, they still are acting as kind of machines. They're getting orders, they're putting the orders into the system, and the system makes it. And in the future, they will have much more time to really dig into the elements which are more important. The emotional elements, leading a person through the life cycle, helping them, providing more advice, and leaving all these stupid elements, these automizable elements to the machine. But it's also more, because it also allows us to create complete new product families. I'll make you an example, and that leads us back to Volvo. So in the earlier days, you had a choice between a discretionary service level and an advisory service level. Discretionary means you tell the bank what you would like to achieve, and the bank does it. No interaction at all. So worst case, you have once a year an interaction with your bank, and it tells you how the performance was. Advisory, on the other hand, is very intensive. The banker provides you an advice, and you have to decide whether you would like to follow it or not, and do the transaction, yes or no. Now, with new technology, we can combine these two elements. So Volt, for example, is a discretionary solution, which allows you any day to change your preferences, to select whatever topics you would like to have an exposure, but it's within the discretionary legal frame. And if you are on holiday, nothing happens, because there is a human being behind it, which via technology manages your portfolio. And even better, what was available only for rather rich people, starting from 500,000, 1 million Swiss francs and further up, it's now available as of 10,000 Swisses. So it's a new excitement, a new product, which basically is available for a complete new segment in the market. And I think, that's the thrilling element of digitalization in wealth management.